Hey guys, it's Joel from guntoter.org and wanted to take a few minutes today to go over a really important piece of knowledge for a new gun owner. If you've been following our blog, you saw I did a post earlier about the 4 firearm safety rules. So what I'm going to cover today is probably the second most important thing that you need to know in regards to your firearm, and that's clearing your firearm. The reason that's important is because you're going to have to clear your firearm for a bunch of different reasons. If you take your gun home and you clean it, you're going to have to clear your firearm. If you take your gun home and you decide that you need to dry fire with it, you're going to have to clear your firearm. If you take it to the range and you're going to go practice with it, once all the ranges open again and there's actually ammo, you're going to have to clear your firearm at the range, and the range safety officer is going to expect you to be able to do that. So I want to go over it real quick. I did write an article about it, but I also want to do just a quick video because I think it actually comes across better in the video. So 5 simple steps, right? First off, for the purposes of this video, our safe direction is going to be that way. So following the firearm safety rules, we're going to point this in a safe direction. For the range, the safe direction is going to be downrange, which means that wherever the targets are hanging. At your house, you're going to have to kind of make a decision of knowing what the gun is pointed at and what's behind whatever the gun is pointed at, because remember, know your target and what's beyond it. You're going to just have to pick a direction that's going to be your safe direction and use that. So you're going to point in a safe direction. Very first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the magazine. Obviously, this is a semi-automatic handgun. It's magazine fed. Remove that magazine. You can see here I'm using dummy rounds. So you will see dummy rounds eject out. These are basically plastic rounds in a brass case. They have no primer. They cannot go off. So it's what I use for demos. So remove your source of ammunition. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute as to why that's super important. Next thing, you've removed your source of ammunition, but you could still have a round in the chamber of your firearm. So you need to get that round out. So all you're going to do is grab the rear of the slide, pull it to the rear, watch that round come out. Now, some people get super worried right here about trying to lock the slide to the rear at the same time that they're ejecting that round. Don't worry about that right now. Eject the round once you know that there's no ammunition in the magazine and there's no ammunition in the chamber, because I can see it right now. Now I'll worry about actually locking that slide to the rear. 2 different ways you can lock, actually it's a bunch of different ways you can lock the slide to the rear. 2 of the big ones being simply grasp the slide, and as you're pushing up on your slide lock it like that. Or some people who have trouble manipulating out here, they'll actually come in, they'll grab the rear of the slide, push up on the slide catch, and lock it to the rear. One thing to be careful about if you're doing this, don't put your hand over that ejection port. If you put your hand over the ejection port and that slide slips, you can pinch yourself really bad. But also, if you're trying to eject around, you have your hand over the ejection port, it may or may not eject like it's supposed to. So if you are going to grab like this, make sure you leave that ejection port open so that it's not an issue. All right, so now you have removed the source of feed, you've removed the magazine, you've ejected any round that might be in the chamber. So now you're going to visually and physically inspect both those places to make sure there's nothing there. And it's super simple. First off, push away, because right now I can see into the chamber. I see there's nothing there. I can also take my pinky, come in, yep, there's nothing there. Magazine well, I pull it in towards me and I can look straight down into the magazine well, and you can see there's nothing in the magazine well. I can also take my fingers, check up in there, nothing in the magazine well. We usually do this twice. So we checked once, we're going to look away. I'm going to push, nothing in there, check, nothing. Down the magazine well, clear. Visually and physically inspect, and the gun's clear. Now, if you're at the range, what they'll usually expect you to do now is take this and lay the gun so the ejection port is facing up neatly on the counter or wherever they have. And the reason they do that is because there's obviously a lot of people at the range. When the range safety officer comes by to check weapons, it's easier for him to be able to just walk by, look in the ejection port, see the chamber, and see that it's clear without him having to turn the gun over and do whatever else. That's why you want ejection port up. All right, so quick review. keep your finger off the trigger, keep it pointed in a safe direction. At the range, that's downrange or towards the targets. At home, find a safe direction, stick with it. Remove your magazine. Rack the slide to eject in your round. Don't worry about locking the slide to the rear until you have already ejected the round. Then worry about locking the slide to the rear. 4, conduct a visual and physical inspection of the firearm. And 5, place it ejection port facing up so they can inspect it. Now, we talked about why you want to remove the magazine before you start working the slide. And here's why. So when you sit here, round, but I now have a round chambered. If I try to eject that round without removing the magazine, the round ejected, but if I lose control of my gun right now, what have I just done? I just chambered another round, right? By removing the magazine first and then working the slide, now I know that it's clear and I don't have to worry about accidentally chambering another round during the process of clearing the gun. All right, so hope that was helpful for everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. You can shoot me an email. I'll have my email in the comments below. You can actually hit me up on Google Hangouts. Just let me know. I mean, you can hit me up on my Facebook page. I really want, if you're a new gun owner out there, I really want you to get the right information. There's a number of sources out there. Some of them are really, really awesome. Some of them are kind of awful. So I want you to get the right information so that you can enjoy your new firearm and enjoy that freedom and responsibility that comes with owning a firearm. Thank you very much. You all have a great day.